Shaye Saint John was once a model, but her life took a tragic turn when she was hit by a train, resulting in the loss of her arms and legs. Despite receiving the necessary medical care, Shaye chose a path that set her apart. She opted for wooden and mannequin limbs instead of conventional prosthetics. To keep her true appearance hidden, she started wearing a variety of masks and wigs, and in the years that followed, she continued to present herself to the world through these unsettling disguises, never letting anyone see what she really looked like underneath. Her behavior became increasingly odd. Shaye developed an obsession with dolls, treating them as if they were real living beings that were capable of engaging in conversations. It was as if they had a mind of their own. A website known as ShayeSaintJohn.net was started in the early 2000s, and it featured a live journal from Shaye. Just as a little taste of what was being posted, here's an entry from July 13th, 2007. I was staying at Prina's cousin's house when I started doing the hand thing. I could not stop. It got so bad that the next door neighbor, Jaren, started doing it too. Jaren also had a botched plastic surgery job to look more like me. Sick. Poor Jaren, he took the tablets and will be gone by midnight. I heard God. If you're wondering what the hand thing even is, then take a look.
Shaye? Are you still doing that hand thing? I heard you're doing the hand thing today. God, what is that? Shaye, what is it? You've been doing this for 24/7.
You're probably experiencing either one of two things right now: fear or laughter. Going even deeper down the rabbit hole, you can find even more videos like this on the Shaye Saint John Archives YouTube channel. Beyond the downright weird and disturbing videos, you can also find music videos too. I want to analyze the reaction to Shaye Saint John videos, whether that be fear, humor, or a mix of both. I think it can be largely understood through psychology, especially concepts like the uncanny valley and how our brains process the bizarre and the absurd. The uncanny valley is that eerie feeling you get when something looks almost human, but is just off enough to make you uncomfortable or even scared. The idea, introduced by a roboticist, Masahiro Mori, suggests that as something artificial like a robot or a mannequin becomes more lifelike, we generally respond more positively, until it gets too close to human that its imperfections make it unsettling. This is the uncanny valley, where slight flaws turn what could be familiar into something creepy. Shaye Saint John's appearance, her distorted human features, use of mannequin parts, and unnatural movements places her firmly in the uncanny valley. Her exaggerated makeup and doll-like masks mimic human features, but in a way that's disturbingly wrong, creating a jarring visual experience. This triggers a primal fear response in your brain, as it struggles to reconcile her almost human-like appearance with the obvious signs that something is very off. For those of you who find Shaye Saint John to be very frightening, this fear comes from the uncanny valley, combined with the disturbing nature of the content, which, let's go over it. The video's low-budget, erratic editing, distorted audio, and cryptic dialogue add to a sense of disorientation and unease. With no clear narrative or explanation, viewers are left in a state of ambiguity, which heightens anxiety. The fear of the unknown is a powerful psychological trigger, and Shaye Saint John's surreal and bizarre behavior taps into this by presenting something that defies easy understanding. On the flip side, some people find humor in Shaye Saint John.
I heard you're doing the hand thing today. God, what is that?
Which can be explained by the absurdity of it all, something you might see in the work of comedians like Tom Green or Eric Andre. Absurdity in comedy often comes from situations that just defy logic or expectations. Shaye's bizarre behavior, over-the-top fashion, and surreal situations can evoke laughter, albeit very uncomfortable laughter. It's so far removed from reality that it just becomes comical. This reaction ties into the incongruity theory of humor, which suggests that we find things funny when there's a mismatch between what we expect and what actually happens. Shaye Saint John is a walking incongruity, a character that mashes together elements that don't logically fit. Her exaggerated movements, nonsensical dialogue, and chaotic editing are just so bizarre that they provoke a kind of nervous laughter as the brain tries to recognize the absurdity of it all. The rough, unpolished quality of Shaye Saint John videos also add to their unsettling charm, giving them an air of authenticity as if they're real, unedited footage rather than something that's carefully constructed. This is a hallmark of the found footage genre, where the rawness makes the content feel more genuine and less like a performance. When something looks like it's filmed on a camcorder in someone's home, it strips away the layers of polish that we associate with professional productions, making it feel more immediate and real. This realism is further heightened by the feeling that the footage is forbidden, or not meant for the public viewing. The videos seem like they could have been found on an old VHS tape in someone's basement, adding a layer of mystery and unease. Viewers feel like they are intruding on something private and they should not be watching this, like it should just be illegal.
That's almost some deep web shit.
In traditional horror movies, there's a sense of comfort in knowing that the film was made by a trusted institution like Hollywood. The audience understands that what they're watching is a product of skilled professionals bound by safety protocols and ethical standards. This provides a subconscious safety net. No matter how terrifying the content, viewers can remind themselves that it's just a movie, it's all fictional, carefully crafted, and no one was actually harmed. But with Shaye Saint John and similar low-budget internet horror content, that safety net is gone. You don't know who made these videos or why, and that mystery breeds discomfort. The lack of transparency about the creators and their intentions makes the content feel dangerous and unregulated. There's an unsettling possibility that the person behind the camera could be someone unhinged, or that the disturbing imagery might have a more sinister backstory than your typical Hollywood script. This uncertainty makes the content feel more threatening, blurring the line between fiction and reality. So, what the hell is this and why am I talking about it? Well, here's the thing. If you haven't figured it out already, Shaye Saint John isn't a real person. She's nothing more than a surrealist character created by a man named Eric Fournier. This is a series that I've thought a lot about. I'll never forget the first time I saw Hand Thing, and it downright horrified me as a kid. I remember going downstairs to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and just being scared shitless that I would see Shaye Saint John in my living room doing the hand thing. But at the same time, it fascinated me. Out of all the scary YouTube videos that I should not have been watching at that age, the two that always stuck out to me were Shaye Saint John and Obey the Walrus, which I might make a video on in the future, I don't know. But even years later, I went as far as to include an homage to Shaye Saint John in my second feature film, Pesticide. There's a character in that film named Angelo who wears this green mask, and that character was heavily inspired by Shaye. On top of that, Shaye Saint John outright appears in the film in the opening title sequence as it's part of this montage of all these weird public access TV shows and obscure YouTube videos. On one hand, I included this as an homage to a character that terrified me, yet fascinated me, but I also wanted to include it as a tribute to Eric Fournier, Shaye's creator. Unfortunately, Eric passed away in 2010 at the age of 42 from alcoholism-induced internal bleeding. Now look, you can make the argument that Shaye Saint John is supposed to be absurd for the sake of being absurd. It's nothing more than an intentionally comedic and horrific outsider art project, but the point of art is to elicit emotion from the audience, and this elicited an emotion out of me. I think that Eric Fournier deserves more props for this series, and it deserves a better legacy than just being another cursed YouTube video. So, is Shaye Saint John the most disturbing channel on YouTube? I guess it depends on how you view it. To me, it's disturbing, but it's equally as sentimental to me in a really bizarre way. In 2015, Kate Davis-Jones published an article about Shaye Saint John through Vice, titled "The Bizarre and Tragic Story Behind One of the Internet's Original Outsider Artists." It's a fantastic article that I recommend you go and read for more insight into the people around Eric Fournier and how much of a well-respected person he was. Regardless, there's a quote in this article from Carl Crew, a filmmaker and friend of Eric. And this quote really just stuck with me, so that's what we're going to end with. When Eric died, people made these videos saying Shaye Saint John is dead, which is exactly what was supposed to happen. The conviction of them thinking that Eric was Shaye. It is really amusing for me. It really worked really well. That allowed her to escape.